Ranneko's Massive Tips! The Pillar Pitcher. The Pillar Pitcher is a cadence replacement thrower for the Alchemist and Alchemist hybrid classes. It's very similar to the regular thrower in terms of damage. As you can see, it's slightly better, but the key difference is that it creates basically Shadow Rock. It looks visually different, but it's pretty much the exact same thing. So what we'll do here is go into some of the advantages and disadvantages of it. So the first thing to note about the Pillar Pitcher is that it has the same radius as the regular Boom Striker attack. This applies also to the Boom Striker. The pillar that it generates will always appear in the middle. The other thing that's worth noting is, much like the Boom Slinger, thrown items are not impacted by the radius reduction. So there's really not much of a disadvantage at all, if any, on deploying this on a Boom Striker. It doesn't reduce the range, it doesn't impact accuracy, and it doesn't even impact the blast radius. On any other Alchemist, you are talking a blast radius reduction, which may make you change your mind. So that's the key thing, but let's see it in action. So we'll move up here, and we've got our lapses up here. Just quickly chuck these out. So you can see, there's our pillar. And as I said before, it works exactly like Shadow Rock does. So it has 2 hit points, and if for some reason it has boosted speed, not that you actually get to move them, and when it gets hit, it will be reduced to a half-height blocker, which means that it doesn't block visibility, but it does block attacks, so keep that in mind. But we can do this. And so this is a great way of blocking off areas if you want, or just otherwise trying to make sure that enemies that you don't want to hit you, don't. So the pillar always is summoned in the middle, which means you can never actually directly attack. You're always going to have to do this kind of a thing. And there you can see, we reduced the size by hitting that, but there. And that is your Pillar Pitcher. They're useful. In general, I probably wouldn't bother with it. I don't... for a trick shot, maybe, because you're not actually impacting the radius, but otherwise, I don't really see the advantage that you're gaining by reducing the view of enemies over the reduced radius of attacks. Maybe if it still had the regular throw radius, it would be worthwhile, but here it's maybe something useful for trick shots. And in general, if I'm going to go for something like this, I am going to go for the Boom Slinger, because the Boom Slinger does more damage and hits more guys.